to license it.
Meep, meep.
Hello everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is Matchbox International WorkStar Brush Fire Truck. It's not the oldest model I've ever worked on, but it wins the prize for being the ugliest. The sole purpose of this makeover is cosmetic. I'm definitely going to deep six the mustard yellow plastic body section and get rid of the flame decals and redo them with something a bit more tasteful, I hope. But as a relatively new casting, it's in good condition and I'll reuse all of the original parts today. But first, a giant thank you to all my subscribers. I went over 200, a mini milestone, once again, and I have to say thanks. I'm honored and surprised that so many people are taking an interest in my hobby and the videos that I produce. And if you're enjoying this one, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button that I put down in the little right-hand corner of your screen to make it easy. Don't forget, and hit the notification bell and leave your respectful comments below. I'm especially interested to hear about where you come from and where you're watching this video right now. So you saw me drill out the one post, and that plastic one that was in the center leaves me a bit perplexed at this moment because the cab top over this windshield unit just drops straight down into the bench vise, and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out what's missing here on my work mat right now, but it's not lost. I'll retrieve it in a moment. And I just need to persuade this ugly mustard yellow plastic bit off of the metal body. This is the main reason why I'm doing this makeover, and nothing needs to be fixed on this truck. But I really want to get rid of that color that I'm holding in my fingers right now. The base is plastic. The wheels and axles are just fine, so as I said, I will be able to reuse all original parts here, as long as I don't lose any. There's the cab that was MIA in the bench vise, and to make sure nothing goes AWOL, I put them all in one container for safekeeping. Good practice. I often give my workstation a sweeping and a brushing, and more often than not, there goes a windshield or a tire or an axle. Never to be seen again. I changed drill bits, and the little bit of yellow tape is just a depth gauge for me here. It's a guide so I don't drill too deep, because this takes just a tiny little M2 size screw for reassembly purposes, and I want to make sure right now I give it a test fit, and I'll leave that in there for the paint stripping and the painting so nothing gums up that tiny little hole that I just drilled. That's all there is to it. Again, my disappointment here is that there's only one metal part, and only the metal goes into the paint stripping gel. The other large plastic bit will just get washed and primed and painted. And I'm running low on that paint stripper gel, just like all my supplies during the lockdown days, and some time elapses. You can see that this is going to come off very easily. It's bubbled up, a nice chemical reaction. And I'll take everything to the adjacent room, which is the laundry room with a big wash tub sink, where I can give it a good scrubbing. And back from there, just a little bit of residual paint, mostly in the shot lines and the detail lines, so some careful attention with my X-Acto knife takes those out. I guess it's for economic reasons. Matchbox made that large plastic bit instead of metal casting. And I'll show you soon how many different color combinations this particular model has come out in. It was just my unfortunate luck to land the most awful looking color combination. Ah well, that's why it's a fun hobby. I can change this into whatever I want. Some bare metal detail with my wire brushes gives it a little bit of its original luster back, and this is where I look around carefully for any imperfections or casting lines that need to be removed or pits and dents that need to be fixed up. Now, over the years, here are all of the different variations that this same model has come out in, and some of them I like a lot. Most of them have chrome, you see, and that's the look that I want to go for. Here's my ugly one with mustard yellow plastic. So it's spray can day today, and I've laid out the pieces in front of the colors, and I hope this works out well. But they all begin with the same Rust-Oleum gray primer. That's the metal body. This is the plastic cab that's going to become red. And say goodbye to the mustard yellow. Oh, already looks better in primer. And the base is black, and it just gets a touch-up of matte black. And I put the lid on top of my DIY spray booth. More time elapses. The primer has dried, and I'm going with the original yellow on the metal body. And you'll see all the different colors. A red cap. I've been asked how long does it take to do a makeover, and there's no one answer to that, of course. Depends on the model and how much work is involved, but I would say generally on the workbench I spend on and off 3 or 4 hours on the actual hands-on work. The equal amount of time, and maybe even more, is the video editing, because I need to take 3 or 4 hours of video and edit that down into what I hope will be under 15 minutes for you, 12 to 14 minutes. It's enjoyable. I actually like the computer part of the hobby, and I hope they're not too long. Some people just skip right through these and fast forward from the beginning to the end reveal. When I'm watching these on different YouTube channels, I like to see all the different stages and a little bit of voiceover with some particular details, maybe even some history of the model or the actual car or truck that's being worked on, and I find it quite satisfying. So that's what I do, and if you choose to fast forward through, that's fine. But I hope you'll find some interest and enjoyment in watching the different stages. So I include the windshield detail and all the different levels of sandpaper and the starting condition and the finished condition like that, and someday I might skip over these because the process is relatively the same. And here's the floor polish dipping stage that seems to be universally accepted as a good trick to do to give some extra shine and protection to the plastic glass parts of the models. I've seen guys dip the tires in the floor polish and the interior plastic pieces, and I cover it up so nothing falls on there. Takes an hour or so to dry up, and a lot of that 3 to 4 hours of restoration time is watching paint dry. So I try to do things in between that and make the best use of my time. And here's a very little bit of exterior detail, just with some brake lights on the back of the bushfire truck. With the airbrush, I'll go solid black interior Gotta take time to give a shout out to all the brush fire rescue workers around the world. In my home country of Canada, we are just starting that season where the brush fires begin. And Canada is so big and vast that the fires don't really make big news until they're roughly the same size as Switzerland, the country that I live in now. And if you overlay Switzerland on a map of Canada, you'll see how small my adopted country really is. But these brush fire rescue guys and girls really do put themselves in harm's way. It's exhausting work, and we hand it to them. So all my bits go back together as they should, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue right in that center post to hold the red cab and the windshield in place. And it's another decal job, so I have found some fire truck emblems online, and this is rescue unit number 42 because it's makeover model number 42 for me, so why not? And I'm most happy that the mustard yellow plastic has become chrome colored, and that suits a fire truck, in my opinion. It came out pretty well when you compare to what it was before. And don't look for structural changes, it's just cosmetic, mostly color changes today, like so. Red cab befitting a fire truck, some new emblems and numbers, and most importantly, chromed up. I hope you enjoyed watching this short and simple makeover today. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and come back real soon. It's coffee time.